I guess I'll start off with just a little bit about the conceptual framework for this project. Oops, I'll go back up to the... Sorry about that. All right. The Geelong Botanic Gardens is a gardens of recognised heritage value, in particular for its tree collection and the avenues that are throughout the gardens, and it's on the Victorian Heritage Register. And it's very close to the beautiful waterfront at Geelong, and it's got a high visitation numbers, but it is sadly quite deficient in amenity for the visitors. And that's an issue, particularly, you know, for a region where there's so much to offer in many aspects. And when visitors do attend the gardens, they did not have good amenity there for basic things like shelter and toilets. The site is located. This is an overall aerial of the gardens in about 1930s, and you can see that there's an avenue that runs just along here of significant peppercorn trees, and this is one of the reasons why it is on the Victorian Heritage Register. And our site is located very close to the peppercorn tree. It used to be a road that ran through there. Very sensitive area. At the moment, the gardens has a couple of little shelters, and you can see on the left-hand side that shelter was originally donated by the Melbourne Botanic Gardens, and the one on the right is, I don't know who made that, but it's been knocked up by somebody, and that's about it. The amenities in this particular location in the gardens is shown on the bottom left-hand side there. So a couple of portables, really deficient for visitors coming to the region and locals coming to the gardens, particularly for people with special needs. And you can kind of see the wall on the top. I'll just try and get rid of that. These peppercorns that run across there, and there are harsh winds that come in across the bay as well. I guess one of the underlying principles that we felt was for the building to be an opportunity for shelter and amenity, toilets, but to allow the gardens to speak for themselves. So it was really important that we provided shelter, but also unobstructed views to the surrounding gardens. And this particular project is outside the gardens proper. So it's I guess it's the instigation for further development of the gardens. You can see that it's located down here towards the bottom of this map, and the gardens proper kind of ends about to just where it says Chameleon Walk. So it was an opportunity to expand the gardens. In terms of just trying to see. Oops, sorry there. Yeah, this overarching idea of allowing the gardens to be the event, which they are. Drove a lot of the thinking around providing a column-free structure, if you like. And I should say too that Geelong is a UNESCO City of Design, has that designation. So it was important that we didn't replicate, you know, an octagonal structure or something like that. It was important that it showed what contemporary pavilions are nowadays. Look, I mentioned about this idea of the pavilion being recessive and allowing the experience of the gardens to be the main event, and that's something that drove all of our thinking. So we were trying to minimise the palette of materials and make sure that what we did wasn't going to be something that might look kind of a bit dated in the years to come. I spoke about the harsh winds that really fly in from the over the bay, and this is I guess the side that faces those winds. So it was important that we did provide a fairly solid structure that protected the people as they came here. In terms of the program, you can see it's got a fairly organic elliptical form and two main components. The first one is the toilets. And they're, I suppose, a contemporary modern unisex set of toilets and accessible from the gardens proper, plus the lawns area as well. And then the other one was this flexible, very flexible space that could be used for events, weddings, shelter, a bit of respite, up to 90 people with a little bits of storage as well. And there's someone's picture of some sort of performance happening there. In terms of integration of allied disciplines, probably the key one that I wanted to just talk about today was the importance of the structural integration, and we wanted to avoid a very expensive cantilever, you know, like a portal type cantilever, but we didn't want to have the columns. So we adopted this kind of fairly light central spine truss that ran through the guts of the roof, and then some relatively straightforward structure propping off that. So it meant that we had effectively a large cantilever done fairly simply, and the outcome, you can see it's got this quite strong crease that runs down the centre of the roof, and that's obviously accommodating for the large truss, but also really helps to open up the clamshell or the leaf-like form to the gardens. And I should say, in terms of cost value, it did sort of mean that we had a relatively economical structure for the type of complex cantilever that we had there, and it was completed within the budget that was available, which was modest. In terms of sustainability, the building the facility has a very low carbon footprint. Effectively, it utilises some recycled water from an existing recycled water storage facility on the site, which is just down the way a little bit. We did manage to reclaim some timber from some of the trees that were stored on site to reuse in the cladding, which was quite an effective way to do that. But in terms of the rest of the usage of power, there's minimal lighting. There's a few lights there that could be used for security and if they have an event at night, and that's about it. So it has a very low carbon footprint and quite a good sort of sustainable outcome.
1 minute.
Okay. I guess the client's specific needs were quite clear. We needed to provide a space that was going to be able to accommodate up to 90 people standing, needed to be quite flexible, needed to have simple storage areas that could be accessed for groups with their friends of the gardens and chairs and all that sort of thing. Needed to have very accessible amenities and provide that place for people coming to the region with a place to be sheltered from the sun and the rain if it was raining, and make sure that it integrated well with the landscape in a modern manner, one that was appropriate for the designation that Geelong has as a city, UNESCO City of Design, and we believe that we've met those needs well. Thank you.
Great.